So your question is, where's all that money going? There is an executive of Scientology who left the group and has written about this. His name is Lawrence Brennan, and he issued an affidavit last year. He was the man who was in charge of doing two things under Hubbard and then into Miscavige's takeover. The first thing he was in charge of was developing a program of religious cloaking, which is to say disguising all of Scientology's activities, which are essentially pseudo-psychotherapeutic and a big multinational business operation, to cloak those as religious practices wherever they could. The second thing he was in charge of was a program called the Corporate Sort Out. And the point of this was to shield the organization from two things. One is refunds demanded by dissatisfied Scientologists. And the second thing was to move the funds offshore and out of the reach of the IRS. Now, those things are in Larry Brennan's affidavit and his writings. Actual confirmation of, where those monies are going, we don't know. We have testimony from people who have left who speak about numerous secret bank accounts all over the place.
I see. Now, one hears stories from time to time that they are aggressive in attacking their critics. I heard a story, I have no idea whether it's true or not, that there was some fellow who was writing articles against them or something, and that they put a rattlesnake in his mailbox. Have you ever heard anything like that?
Oh, there is a long history of this. And to understand it, you need to understand how Scientologists look at non-Scientologists. Scientologists believe, as you've seen in that crazy Tom Cruise video, that they are the only ones who have the answers to every human problem. And there's a great urgency because civilization is in collapse, and they must what they call clear the planet, which means to turn everyone into a Scientologist. And they consider anyone who opposes Scientology what they call a suppressive person. And Hubbard issued a policy called the Fair Game Policy, which says that any suppressive person may be tricked, lied to, sued, or destroyed. And that policy has been carried out all the way along. The first, most spectacular example was that of Paulette Cooper. In 1970, she wrote the first critical book of Scientology. It was called The Scandal of Scientology. Now, this woman is a woman who was born in Auschwitz and is an Auschwitz survivor. Her parents were murdered there. So when she wrote this critical book, the Scientology's Secret Service agency, which was called the Guardian's Office in those days, conceived Operation Freakout. And it had this goal. They were either going to put Paulette Cooper in jail, or they were going to put her in a mental institution. What happened was they stole her stationery. They wrote bomb threats on it and sent it to the Church of Scientology. They subjected her to many lawsuits, and she was only exonerated on the frame-up on the bomb threat charge when the FBI raided Church of Scientology offices and discovered documentation on this. They were on a completely different mission.
All right. Well, now, Mr. Anonymous, let's take a quick break and learn the rest of the Paulette Cooper story. My guest is Anonymous, folks. I will now open the lines for your comments and questions for Anonymous at 1-800-GG-Liddy. That's 1-800-445-4339. The main Anonymous forum, by the way, is whyweprotest.net, if you'd like to learn more.
This is the G. Gordon Liddy Show.
My guest is anonymous, and we are discussing the cult called Scientology, the most prominent adherent of which is the actor Tom Cruise. And from time to time, when you go through the checkout counter, you will see a picture of Tom Cruise and his latest wife, and usually the story is something about how he has put her on a severe diet or something like that, having to do with Scientology. I don't know. But I wanted to ask you, Anonymous, is L. Ron Hubbard still alive?
No, he's not. Here's another thing your listeners might be interested in. Scientology, in its quest for its IRS tax exemption, carried out the largest known infiltration of the United States government. It was called Operation Snow White. And the object of this was to break into government offices in Washington and in some of the states and steal documents relating to Scientology and its quest for a tax exemption. Now, what happened was Hubbard sacrificed his wife, Mary Sue, and there were 10 other Scientologists in the United States and 2 in Canada that were sent to prison. At that point, Hubbard disappeared, and he hid out at a ranch near San Luis Obispo in California, and he died in 1986, I believe.
Now, you say he sacrificed his wife. In what sense?
Well, the Operation Snow White was actually conceived by Hubbard, and it was carried out by Mary Sue Hubbard, who at that time was the head of their Secret Service agency, the Guardian's Office. So Hubbard could have gone to prison on that, but he made sure that other people took the blame.
I see. Okay. Now, this OT3, that is the highest level that is achievable only at the expense of $350,000 plus or minus?
No, OT3 is actually one of the rungs on a series of courses that goes from OT1 to OT8. So OT8 is the highest level you can reach.
I see. And presumably, Mr. Cruise is an OT8.
Actually, he has not gotten up there yet. I'm not sure exactly where he is. He may be somewhere between OT5 and OT7.
Well, I'll tell you what, he can certainly afford it, I would think.
That's true.
Okay. Well, look, we just got an email in. G-Man, can you ask Anonymous how much power these people have in Hollywood and, God forbid, Washington? And it's signed by Mariette F., and we'll get the answer right after this little break for the news. Thank you, Anonymous. We'll be right back with you in just a few minutes. My guest is Anonymous. We're talking about Scientology. The phone number, in case you want to get in on this, is 1-800-GG-Liddy. That's 1-800-445-4339.
This is the G. Gordon Liddy Show.